I'm ranking 15 of the most well-known BBQ companies in America today, ranging from complete failures to truly outstanding. This isn't about having the most locations or the most beautiful restaurant. Subscribe, like, grab some napkins, and get ready to have your plans for a BBQ entirely altered. Because this is about restaurants that truly realize that barbecue is a craft that requires expertise, patience, and respect. Dickey's Barbecue Pit is a chain that puts speed ahead of quality, producing barbecue that is so subpar that it is actually disrespectful to the art. Originally a respectable barbecue business that knew the basics of smoking meat, it was founded in Dallas in 1941 by Travis Dickey. But everything that made Dickey's unique was lost by corporate ownership and relentless franchising. At its height, the business had over 500 sites, making it the biggest BBQ restaurant in America, based more on quantity than quality. Due to the need for standardization brought about by this quick growth, the craft components that are necessary for a good barbecue were removed. The most evident catastrophe is the brisket, meat that's stringy and dry, as if it was cooked in a regular oven and then flavored with liquid smoke. A genuine brisket should have meat so tender that it breaks apart readily with a black, delicious bark. We learned from a former Dickey's manager that the meat is already cooked and is just reheated on steam tables. We would spray liquid smoke throughout the restaurant, which is what gives it its smoky fragrance. Everything is made worse by the sauce. In order to conceal the low quality of the protein, Dickey's utilizes sauces that are so sweet that they overwhelm the flavor of any leftover meat. Both sides are equally tragic. Coleslaw with soup-like consistency, beans that are obviously canned, and mac and cheese that tastes like it came out of a box. The chain has turned into a warning about what happens when artisanal craftsmanship and corporate efficiency collide. The idea behind Smokey Bones, which opened in 1999 as an attempt by Darden Restaurant to establish a sports bar with a BBQ motif, highlights the main issue. Barbecue is treated as a subject rather than a craft. The chain's decline to about 45 sites after reaching a peak of 130 suggests that the market rejected their BBQ strategy. Rather than being a barbecue restaurant with televisions, the restaurant feels more like a sports bar that also serves BBQ. Barbecue that is suitable for bar fare, but offensive as real barbecue results from the emphasis on atmosphere and entertainment, which pushes the food to the side. At best, there is very little smoking involved. Most meat is only exposed to smoke enough to be considered authentic, with flavor coming from sauces and seasonings. The brisket tastes more like roast beef with barbecue sauce than properly smoked meat, since it lacks the deep smoke penetration that characterizes good barbecue. Because they are cooked fast to satisfy demand rather than slowly to create the right texture and flavor, the ribs suffer from the sports bar method. They frequently arrive dry and overdone, necessitating a generous amount of sauce to make them appetizing. Fundamental mistakes in the BBQ preparation cannot be made up for by the sports bar atmosphere. Although Billy Sims Barbecue was founded in 2004 and capitalized on the well-known name of former NFL running back Billy Sims, subpar performance and uneven quality cannot be made up for by celebrity endorsement. The chain is an example of the worst celebrity restaurant endeavors. Bad food has big titles attached to it. The cuisine reflects the concept's misplaced emphasis on Sims's football celebrity rather than his BBQ skills. The eateries are less serious barbecue establishments that concentrate on the art of smoking meat and more like museums of sports memorabilia that also offer barbecue. The vast differences in brisket quality between locations indicate that different franchisees are choosing different standards for quality and preparation techniques. While some places serve good barbecue, others bring in steam table meat that has been exposed to heat lamps for hours. It all relied on who was in charge that day and how much they cared, according to a former employee. On certain shifts, we would properly smoke the meat. On others, we would simply reheat whatever was left over from the previous day. The quality of the sauce is generic and obviously comes from industrial vendors, rather than being made especially for the eatery. The sides are also uneven, with some places offering good sides and others delivering obviously pre-made dishes that taste like they were taken from a food service catalog. This discrepancy has kept the company from gaining the devoted customer base necessary to maintain profitable BBQ businesses. In McDonough, Georgia, Chain's Rib Shack opened its doors in 2002 with the promise of real Southern barbecue. However, the marketing claims are constantly not met by the execution. The chain serves cuisine that looks like barbecue, but lacks the flavor and texture that distinguishes the real kind, symbolizing the disconnect between barbecue aspiration and actual capability. Despite the restaurant's emphasis on Southern friendliness and charm, the food falls short of its regional standing. The barbecue delivers generic smoked meat that might come from anywhere, but it lacks the nuance and richness that define true Southern barbecue. The meat on the ribs is frequently either overcooked and dry or undercooked and harsh when they are delivered, which may indicate irregular timing and temperature control. Similar problems plague pulled pork, which frequently tastes more like pot roast than properly smoked pork shoulder. The ongoing push to expedite cooking times in order to satisfy demand is revealed by a former pitmaster. Corporate wanted a quicker turnover, but real barbecue takes time. The end product was meat that appeared to have been smoked but lacked the taste and consistency of properly cooked barbecue. Based on the setting and marketing, they expect real Southern barbecue, but what they get is generic chain food that doesn't live up to the high prices or regional claims. Rib Crib was founded in 1992 in Tulsa, Oklahoma, with the intention of introducing high-quality barbecue to the Midwest. However, the restaurant's performance has fallen into a comfortable mediocrity that doesn't fully satisfy anyone. The issue with BBQ businesses that place a high value on constant perfection is exemplified by the chain. Although the restaurant's concept, which centers on ribs and classic barbecue in a family-friendly setting, is sound, the execution lacks the enthusiasm and focus that distinguishes decent barbecue from great barbecue, making the dish technically sound but ultimately unmemorable. The trademark dish, the ribs, are prepared more for consistency than for taste. Although they are cooked to perfection, they lack the smoke penetration and bark development that make a barbecue memorable. The brisket lacks the aromatic bark and rich smoke ring that characterize great brisket, making it passable but unimpressive. The quality of the sauce is passable but uninspiring. It is obviously made to appeal to Midwest palates rather than to properly smoked meat. The tastes lack the depth and harmony that characterize excellent barbecue sauce. They are sweet and light. Customers who prefer consistent BBQ over unique experiences are drawn to the restaurant because it has established a reputation based on dependability rather than quality. Since 1953, Bill Miller Barbecue has been a staple in San Antonio, but longevity does not equate to quality. This Texas chain produces barbecue that is more about convenience than art because it places a higher priority on volume and speed than the meticulous attention to detail that excellent barbecue demands. With drive-thrus and speedy service that is incompatible with well-prepared barbecue, the chain functions more like a fast food restaurant than a traditional BBQ spot. Due to the emphasis on speed, meat is frequently prepared ahead of time and kept under heat lamps, which eliminates the unique flavor and texture of barbecue. The most obvious victim of the fast food strategy is the brisket. It is frequently pre-sliced and kept in steam tables rather than being sliced to order from freshly smoked briskets, which results in meat that is dry and lacks the right texture of a quality brisket. The chain's strength is actually its breakfast tacos, but the BBQ program suffers from the conflicting priorities. Breakfast and BBQ don't get the attention they deserve when a restaurant tries to provide both meals effectively. Since its founding in 1968 in Gainesville, Florida, Sonny's Barbecue has amassed a regional following across the Southeast. However, the franchise model produces extreme quality inconsistencies that turn every visit into a risk. While some places offer good BBQ, others provide bad experiences that harm the brand's image. Solid, traditional barbecue in a welcoming setting for families with a regional Southern focus is the idea. However, because of the franchise system, individual owners choose different products, cooking techniques, and standards of quality, which leads to radically varied experiences at various locations. Depending on how dedicated each franchisee is to using the right smoking methods, the ribs can be great at well-run establishments but awful at others. The pulled pork is also inconsistent, with some restaurants selling correctly smoked pig shoulder and others serving meat that tastes as though it was cooked in regular ovens. In an effort to reach a wider audience, the updated menu frequently lessens the emphasis on BBQ. Restaurants frequently succeed at nothing when they strive to please everyone. The chain is unable to develop steady brand loyalty because of this unpredictability. Famous Dave's, which debuted in 1994 with real barbecue credentials, has earned multiple accolades for its sauces and ribs. However, there are significant differences in quality between places and trips. They're truly exceptional when they're good. When they aren't, they are costly disappointments that capitalize on their prior reputation. Founder Dave Anderson's sincere love of barbecue and his in-depth knowledge of regional barbecue techniques served as the foundation for the idea. Barbecue lovers genuinely respected the original restaurants because they delivered genuinely good barbecue that deserved the high prices. However, corporate ownership and growth have led to inconsistencies that damage the brand's reputation. The hallmark dish is the ribs, which may be truly great if cooked correctly. They should be soft, smoky, have nice bark development, and be appropriately seasoned. However, they may also be obviously reheated, underseasoned, or overcooked. Award-winning sauces with genuine flavor development and balance are included in the list. The rich, salty, sweet, and zesty sauces have garnered national awards and truly enhance well-cooked meat. The sides might be really good. The wilted lettuce salad and cornmeal muffins demonstrate a genuine interest in classic barbecue side dishes. However, the quality differs depending on the place. Some use pre-made items, while others serve freshly produced sides. Because of this discrepancy, you could have a great encounter and become a fan, but then have a bad visit and start to doubt the brand completely. In 1989, Rudy's began as a barbecue joint at a petrol station in Leon Springs, Texas, and their modest beginnings really worked to their advantage. The straightforward style puts more emphasis on the meat than the ambiance, making for consistently delicious barbecue at affordable costs. Although the aesthetic of a gas station may seem unsettling, it is genuine rather than fake. Rudy's doesn't spend money on ornate theming or ostentatious decor. Their investment in high-quality materials and appropriate smoking equipment is evident in the finished product. With the right amount of smoke penetration and a supple texture that doesn't need a lot of sauce to be enjoyed, the brisket is consistently superb everywhere. It features the characteristic peppery bark of a quality Texas brisket. With its distinct jalapeno taste and heat, the sausage enhances rather than overpowers the other dishes on the menu. The sides are straightforward but expertly prepared. The bread enhances rather than detracts from the meat. The beans have a nice flavor, and the creamed corn is truly creamy. With choices that complement rather than overpower the flavors of the meat, the small but excellent assortment of sauces has become a cult favorite among Texas barbecue fans. Quality standards have been upheld during the growth to other states, demonstrating that the idea is applicable outside of Texas as long as the emphasis is on cooking barbecue correctly. The dependability that comes from being a part of the reputable Pappas restaurant chain is embodied by Pappas Barbecue. They have been serving consistently excellent Texas-style barbecue since 1996, meeting but not necessarily surpassing customers' expectations. The Pappas family's dedication to excellence in all of their restaurant concepts is advantageous to the establishment. The brisket is always cooked to perfection using the right smoking method and flavor. The ribs have the right texture and a nice smoke taste thanks to their expert preparation. Although they aren't particularly inventive, they are always tasty and exhibit good BBQ skills. As with the sides, the coleslaw has the right texture and seasoning. The mac and cheese is genuinely creamy, and the beans have good flavor development. With employees that are knowledgeable about barbecuing and are able to offer suggestions, the level of service reflects Papa's dedication to hospitality. Three friends from Alabama founded Moe's Original Barbecue in Vail, Colorado, in 2001 with the goal of introducing the world to real Alabama barbecue. Because it is based on actual local knowledge rather than corporate grilling ideas, the concept is successful. The distinctive feature that distinguishes Moe's from typical barbecue establishments is the Alabama white sauce. Authentic to North Alabama, this mayonnaise-based sauce has a distinct flavor profile that enhances smoked chicken and pork in ways that conventional tomato-based sauces cannot. The smoking method shows a thorough comprehension of the principles of barbecue. With the right texture and flavor that come from properly smoked pig shoulder, the pulled pork is always delicious. The hallmark of well-prepared barbecue is that the meat doesn't need a lot of sauce to be tasty. While keeping the emphasis on classic barbecue accompaniments, the menu is kept interesting by the seasonal sides that change every season. Southern culinary traditions are respected while showcasing inventiveness in dishes like pimento mac and cheese and fried green tomatoes. Compared to most chains, the expansion has maintained quality standards better, indicating that the founders' dedication to authenticity is reflected in their growth plan. In 1999, City Barbecue opened its doors in Columbus, Ohio, and distinguishes itself from corporate barbecue chains with its dedication to scratch cooking and authentic pit smoking. Everything is cooked fresh, not reheated from pre-made items, according to their scratch kitchen concept. The act of smoking is legal. Real wood, the right temperatures, and the time needed to achieve the right texture and nuanced taste. With the delicate texture and nuanced taste that result from patient smoking, the brisket is always superb. The flesh on the ribs is tender, but not coming off the bone, demonstrating good technique. Instead than using reheated pre-made items, the sides are created from scratch. Rather than merely heating up food service ingredients, corn pudding and banana pudding have evolved into unique dishes that showcase true culinary skill. Because they can taste the difference that scratch cooking makes, customers are very loyal. The cuisine has the flavor of having been cooked by individuals who value quality over efficiency. It's impressive how consistent each location is for a chain that prioritizes scratch cooking. Every location maintains the same standards thanks to the quality control and training programs. With a level of skill and friendliness that warrants their premium status, Lucille's Smokehouse Barbecue delivers genuine Southern barbecue to California. Since 1999, they have demonstrated that when quality is the top concern, excellent barbecue can thrive outside of conventional barbecue regions. Without seeming like a theme park, the restaurant's ambiance delivers a true Southern experience. Meat produced using the legal and cautious smoking method has the right texture and smoke penetration. Because it was patiently smoked with high-quality wood, the brisket has a soft consistency and nuanced flavors. The meat is tender without being overcooked, and the ribs always have good bark growth. The sides exhibit the same level of quality control as the meat. Cornbread that enhances rather than overpowers the barbecue, beans with nuanced flavors, and mac and cheese that is genuinely creamy. Unlike most BBQ businesses, Lucille's offers high-quality service. The employees are knowledgeable about the cuisine and are able to suggest dishes based on patron tastes and local barbecue traditions. Since its founding in Birmingham, Alabama, in 1985, Jim and Nick's has established a solid reputation for fusing real Southern barbecue with warm hospitality. Their dedication to using slow-smoked meats and homemade sides results in consistently delicious barbecue at all of their sites across the Southeast. Great barbecue is defined by its complex flavors and textures, which are developed through a careful and traditional smoking process that uses real wood and the right procedures. With the smoky flavor and soft texture that come from properly smoked hog shoulder, the pork is always outstanding. The well-known cheddar biscuits have evolved into a symbol of the scratch kitchen method. These are freshly made goods that go well with the BBQ, not reheated frozen biscuits. Southern recipes are used to make the sides from scratch. It is impressive how consistently each restaurant upholds the same standards of quality and friendliness throughout all of its locations. Instead of being forced to be friendly by the company, the level of service represents true Southern hospitality. In the Southeast, Jim and Nick's enjoys a high level of patronage, and many people view it as the benchmark for chain barbecue. As a result of their extraordinary accomplishment of consistently superb barbecue across more than 140 sites while retaining the passion and attention to detail that great barbecue demands, Mission BBQ is ranked number 1. Two friends founded the restaurant in Glen Burnie, Maryland in 2011 with the goal of celebrating American heroes with delicious barbecue. Mission BBQ's patriotic concept could easily be cheesy, yet their food truly lives up to their messaging. With the right smoke rings, sensitive texture, and rich flavors that emerge from diligent smoking, the brisket is consistently excellent everywhere. Although sauce is not necessary to enjoy the meat, The available sauces enhance rather than overpower the barbecue. One unique feature that distinguishes Mission BBQ from rivals is the turkey. Because it's easy to overcook turkey, most chains struggle with it. But Mission BBQ always produces moist, delicious turkey with the right amount of smoke penetration. The meat in the pulled pork has the ideal texture and smoky flavor, demonstrating good technique. The founders were passionate about quality because they believed that anything less would be insulting to the persons we were celebrating. As explained by a former pitmaster from a Virginia facility, produced from scratch, the sides are produced using high-quality ingredients. Instead of merely reheating pre-made items, the coleslaw, baked beans, and mac and cheese all exhibit true culinary skill. Instead of corporately mandated patriotism, the service culture expresses a sincere admiration for the military and first responders. The BBQ industry has never seen such consistency across more than 140 locations. The basic problem of chain barbecue has been resolved by Mission BBQ, which has managed to scale operations without sacrificing quality. All sites have very high customer satisfaction rates, with special recognition given to the food's excellence and the sincerity of their patriotic aim. This ranking exposes the basic reality of chain barbecue, from Dickey's corporate disaster to Mission BBQ's patriotic excellence. When businesses put authenticity above manufactured efficiency and craft above cost-cutting, quality is achievable. Thus, keep this ranking in mind the next time you're wanting authentic barbecue. Because life is too short for terrible barbecue, avoid corporate catastrophes that put business above pit smoking and choose eateries that recognize that great barbecue cannot be mass-produced, rushed, or mimicked without losing what makes it unique. You now know just where to look for the genuine thing. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your family and friends.